8 members of the crossbench have signed a letter to the Prime Minister demanding he lift that ban on flights from India. The order penalises citizens and residents stranded in the COVID-stricken country if they attempt to travel home. Indeed, it criminalises it. Travellers would face 5 years jail or hefty fines of up to $66,000. It sparked a backlash from the opposition, human rights groups and the Indian Australian community. Greens leader Adam Ban is among those who've signed the letter. He joins me live now. Thanks so much for your time, Mr Ban. On what grounds can you challenge this under the Biosecurity Act?
Well, the government shouldn't be threatening people with jail time because the government's failed to build enough quarantine facilities or organise repatriation flights. We'll be moving in the Senate when the Parliament resumes to have this ban and the threat of jail time and criminal sanctions overturned. And we hope that pressure in the Senate, including if members of the government are willing to cross the floor and back up some of the comments that they've been making with their votes, will put pressure on the government to come up with a different approach. The ban is racist, it's possibly illegal, it's not supported by the medical advice, and it's got to go.
Racist? How is it racist?
We're threatening people with jail time because they're coming from a country that is not predominantly white. We didn't take this approach of threatening people with jail time when it came to the US or the UK. We're dealing with Australian citizens and residents and people who've got a connection of Australia who may well be of Indian descent or who've got Indian connection. And to say to them, for the first time ever, if you try to come home, as you're entitled to do in your passport, we're going to threaten you with jail time, is outrageous. Maybe the government says, well, we're doing that because we don't have quarantine facilities ready, but that's not an excuse.
Okay,
that is
so
no
is it
excuse.
racist,
the quarantine
or
facilities
is it because
should be
there's no
ready at this point.
facilities, though?
Well, as I've said, I stand by the words. I think that it speaks volumes that the first time that the government is taking a move of threatening people with jail time is against a country in a way that we didn't do when we were dealing with countries that were predominantly white. And whatever justification the government has for it, if the government says, oh no, we're not doing it for that reason, we're doing it for other reasons, then you've got to question those other reasons as well. Because at the moment, the government is saying we're doing it because we don't have enough quarantine facilities ready and we don't have the repatriation flights organised. That is a damning indictment on Scott Morrison.
Well, they're actually saying it's because India has almost 400,000 new cases of COVID every day. Do you not buy that?
Well, clearly there is an outbreak and clearly it is reaching catastrophic stages, and there's things that the government could be doing to help that. Of course, the facts are the facts in India, and it is a terrible situation. But one of the things that the Indian government is calling for is for the ability to roll out vaccines much more quickly by having intellectual property restrictions on vaccines waived. Now, they've gone to the WTO to ask for that. Australia is blocking them, okay? Australia at the moment is joining with other countries in blocking the push from India to have vaccines more available. And meanwhile, Pfizer, who is making, of course, one of the vaccines, has just announced proudly that it's made $26 billion out of dealing with the pandemic. Now, Australia could be doing things and could have done things to help get the situation in India under control, and it's failed to do that. So yes, we should be providing more immediate assistance because oxygenators and the like, you're seeing the real shortages of the system there. But there are other things Australia could be doing. But in fact, Australia has done things that has contributed to a lack of availability of vaccines. My point is that we are dealing with India in a way that we did not deal with other countries. And when you look at the government's justifications for that, none of them stack up.
Did you think that shutting the border to China was racist too?
No, it supported the move, but that didn't come with saying that Australians or people with a connection with Australia who want to return home are going to be threatened with jail time. And that is the point. This is the first time that this has happened. Why is this happening? I've made the point and I stand by my comments there. Why is this happening? This isn't something that we did when other countries faced outbreak. we should have a health-led response to the pandemic, not a force-led response. We're very concerned that if it gets to the point where having Australian citizenship means nothing and doesn't entitle you to protection, then that is a line that the government is crossing this time in a way that it has not crossed before, and that is of grave concern.